Alright, so what's up, people? Back again with another haircut. I'm here with my man,
Forrest Wright.
and I'm actually at his establishment right now. At I can't tell you where I'm at, but we're actually in here with everything being cooked and bowls and plates and all that stuff. So I'm gonna let my man tell you a little bit about himself and his business and what he does, and then we're gonna get back into it.
Cool. Yeah, so like I said, I'm Forrest. I'm the chef and owner of KMRA.tasting Club. What we do is about 2 times a month, we do little pop-up events. It's basically kind of like a pop-up restaurant, and themes kind of vary. Like I like to get into a lot of different styles. I like to get really artistic and experimental, and that's kind of like what drives my creative edge, kind of keeps me going, motivates me to do this stuff. And most of all, I like to make it so, bringing like kind of finer things to everybody, like I keep it really accessible, like keep it like for the people. And so that's kind of the motivation behind, what I do.
All right, my dog. So I've known you for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
And each time you have an event, like the palette, the food is totally different.
Mm-hmm.
It's completely diverse, spread out from different places,
Mm-hmm.
different tastes, different textures, all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Like I was telling you earlier, somebody like me, people would get tired of me and be like, bro, you got chicken wings and french fries at every event. So how do you switch that up? Like, where do you find your ideas?
I mean, I guess I try to like style it around like seasonality first, like because I like to use primarily local stuff, like other small businesses, other small farms, what have you. So I try to write around the seasons first, and then apart from that, I just like whatever I'm into at the time, whatever sort of style or message I'm trying to put out for the event. I sort of cater the menu to that. So like whatever suits the message or the image that I want to display, I just sort of I kind of have it's what I do. So I kind of have an endless supply of ideas in my head. So I just fill it based on the season and then kind of what the event is. But I like it to be sort of something you can only have at that time and it'll never happen again because it kind of builds the novelty. Because people know they can get it only at that point. They're not going to be able to get it next Tuesday or when it's convenient for them. It just kind of happens in that time, and it kind of makes it more, like I said, more novel, more kind of just like a flash in the pan, more unique. So it's like something they remember and they can never really have again.
Okay, so if I am, let's say I've seen you, all over Instagram, I've
Mm-hmm.
seen people promoting you and all that, and I'm finally saying, okay, I'm about to come, try my man out. I want to see it. I want to feel this experience.
Mm-hmm.
Explain to me what I'm looking forward to, or explain to me what you want me to get out of your experience.
I mean, it's sort of like I like making more moments for people. You know what I mean? Like something that somebody holds on to, they talk about at work or with their friends, or it's something that like it happened, they were a part of, happened to them. Just creating a memory, creating an experience, because we're such like, I feel like we're really kind of experience starved in like our modern day. There's not really a lot of stuff, going on. Everything's so mass produced and sort of unemotional. Like I like to make something that's really special to somebody, especially for like, it doesn't have to be necessarily a date, but people who are really into this kind of thing look like seek out this kind of experience, or people who are brand new to it. I like to be kind of their first and like break them into this, like, make them feel like they can access it and get a whole new, whole new perspective on how they approach their food and what it can be for them. So, I mean, there's not really one answer to that question. I want them to get the most out of it as possible, and hopefully, just have an impact on them and motivate them towards any number of things. So kind of like related to that, something I get a lot um, when people are sort of on the fence about it, or they like have a certain perception of what like this kind of food and this kind of dining like is, or who it's like for. Like especially, I mean, not really anybody in particular, but just people like, oh, I don't think that's for me. I'm more of a, they think they're more of a meat and potatoes person. They might be a little bit like scared of what they might be up against or think they won't like it, but it's kind of like that's my favorite challenge, because it's like, yes, I will. It is for you, and it'll be something you like, because I make sure that's paramount. Like making sure that it's good food that people will actually enjoy. It is presented really stylistically, but at the core of it, it's still like things that you'll want and sort of crave and want to come back to. So I always like when I get those kind of people that like I have to kind of convince them, and then they're my biggest fans at the end. So.
No, I'm not even gonna lie, bro. That just might be me because I'm coming to your event tomorrow,
Yeah.
and I'm a person who you would say has a child's palate.
Mm.
So, like, I order my cheeseburgers with no onions, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I told myself, and I was telling my lady coming into this, saying, hey, I'm just going to be open. Whatever my man cooks, I'm going to try it. I'm going to eat it because I'm going to trust that it is, put together well. And I know, the time and all that stuff that it takes on it. So I'm not going to come into it with my childish palate.
Right.
Like, okay, no, I'm going to eat this or whatever. I want the full experience of it. You know what I'm saying? All that. So, not even a lot, man. That's
you.
One of those people
and I always appreciate when people at least like try it, even if they're not like, you might not find your new favorite food or whatever it is, but if people like at least challenge themselves to do something a little different, I think that's important for people to do in general. And that's part of why I seat and structure the dinners the way that I do. Like I make it in a family style setting, so everyone's kind of like, if you do it, I do it type thing. Because there's some dinners where I serve people some weird shit, and like intentionally just to challenge people's palates, and like everyone feels brave enough to do it because everybody's kind of in a community mind where they're all experiencing it together. And it might not be something that everybody, there might be different tastes. Some people might love something, some people might not, but that's kind of part of it. It's like you explore new things and see what fits for you or what doesn't. And I always appreciate people who at least take that challenge and, risk that with us.
So I just heard you say a family style setting, and it's the same. Food brings everybody together. Food's a good thing to come together on. Just talk about the importance of the family style setting.
Yeah. So like on the one hand, it's for like just to sort of bring down the intimidation factor a little bit, because everybody's sort of on the same, they're on the same edge. And then on top of that, it's like community building. You'll run into somebody who runs a lawn care business, and somebody else is needs that business done, or somebody who does X thing, and they were looking for somebody to do that. It kind of builds that community within itself, and people make friendships, make new business relationships, make new relationships even, and it's all built on how it's structured. Because when you're isolated with your say you're with a group of friends, you're not really going to learn anything new about each other. You might have a nice night, but it's not like you're not going to get the overall message. That's why I kind of push that everybody together, all kind of at once, one single seating, just because it's like one group, one family, just to kind of bridge those gaps and make it more of a, like you said, like more of a community family type experience.
Now, just kind of got a question about your location of business. Before being solely based out of Kansas City, and then now moving to New York. Talk about kind of the pros and the cons of switching your location and what all that opens up to. What all that closes.
So negatives definitely, like, out here, I've been in service industry in this area for like the majority of my life. So it's like I have the network here that's very functional, and like I know where to get all the things that I need. I have all the people that I need. Everybody's like kind of at, just on the other side of the phone, because I've been here for, 30 some years. So the disadvantage being out there is everything's new. Like I kind of have to build that network from scratch, which I've been lucky enough to find a lot of people that are kind of doing similar things as me. Like I found like a couple groups of people they're all independent, but they sort of like network together and sort of commune to, build that same kind of business kind of network. But it's not as, it's still new. It still doesn't really have a lot of legs to it. So it's like I get by doing it that way, but it's just a lot of work in networking and building the interpersonal part of the business where I have all that already here. So that's definitely an advantage here versus there. Advantage there, I think people are more they're more used to this kind of thing. So it's kind of moves a lot faster for getting momentum behind me. People are like they're looking for this kind of stuff. It's pretty routine. There's like hundreds of other people doing the same kind of thing, which gives more of a challenge to what I present, what I do, which is a good thing. But it's like it's not as it doesn't take as much explaining to people because they're used to it. But I guess that's an advantage and a disadvantage. So positives and negatives.
And how is everything out there?
It's good. I mean, it's a different animal, definitely. I mean, everything's just congestion and busy, and just like, I mean, you kind of really just got to be on your stuff. I think there's more of an appreciation for the work that goes into it here versus there. I think a lot of people here, like, you have the Midwestern work ethic. People understand what goes into something like this, and they appreciate the work. Whereas the East Coast, it's kind of a little bit faster, and so that part of it is maybe a little bit more lost. But it's just different mentalities, different kinds of people. But the idea with it is, like, I want it to be able to be a mechanism for me to go, go anywhere, like have it be a medium for travel and be able to, reach out and branch out to other people trying to do stuff like this and give them kind of some leadership, some mentorship, so they can like be within the same umbrella. Because so many of us get who are, in the service industry and really talented, get locked up in, work weeks that are too long. We get burnt out on creativity because they're doing the same thing every day. They kind of lose their edge, and a lot of people are kind of squandered working within the like the public sector. Whereas when you're independent, you kind of make your own rules. You can sort of preserve yourself and continue to do the things that you want to do. And so, that's my biggest mission, is to be able to make other people do what I do and kind of break their own cycles and get into the independent side of things.
So let's say I am a younger chef, a newer chef, and I'm trying to get to where you are. I want to do what you're doing. Just talk about, or maybe even talk about the number one obstacle that you face getting into this, that you overcame, or just what things to look forward to.
Yeah.
When we're trying to get into it.
I mean, definitely, I guess the biggest obstacle is like you basically tear down all your safety nets for, pay isn't guaranteed. There's, legal stuff you open yourself up to. There's all kinds of risk that you have to take on. Basically, like the price you paid for your freedom, more or less. So just being ready for just kind of waves of, bounty and uncertainty. It's like managing it when it's good and preparing for it when you're going to have some scarcity. That cycle just always continues. But once you get over kind of taking that risk, it's like it'll always come. Like you just kind of have to, like, if you stop your motion and you back into something else, you kind of get a little scared, get a little safe, then your momentum won't go anymore. So it's what I tell everybody is you just have to keep doing it. You kind of have to eat that risk a little bit. You might have to, go a little hungry in some cases, but it always comes back. There's always something else that you're moving towards. So you really just kind of have to take the fire face on, more or less. And what to look forward to is you don't have anyone you're really answering to. You can kind of do things how you want to do them. You can, you have more of a personal life. You can have more of a work-life balance. It's healthier for your body. You're not working. I mean, you're not working 18-hour days every day. Just when you have the days that you're selected for. It's really just independence and just your own peace of mind, because in the service industry, we're really taken advantage of in the private sector, and being able to break out of that and just get, reclaim yourself is, pretty priceless.
Big picture plan for KMR.
Big picture plans.
Before you do that.
Okay. All right. I mean, big picture plans. I want to be able to grow it into where it can support, like I said, like younger creators, kind of on a full time basis. Like getting myself into more of a like support system for people who need to have like a structure to grow into and eventually grow out of, but like helping them with menu development systems they can try out on a dynamic and a structure that actually exists, like get their ideas tested like on a real plane and help them cultivate their own talents and like give them like an umbrella to work within. And then I kind of wanted to like branch out into different factions, different styles of dining. Like I mean, almost on like local or national level. I get it just growing to where it's just a bigger organism, just getting supporting other creators and just being growing into whatever it's going to grow into.
All right, and I know we have the event tomorrow, and I think you have another one Saturday. What's next for you?
So then on the 15th, well, on the 8th and then the 15th, I have to go out to New York. And then after that, planning out in the springtime, like kind of late April, to come back out here and do one with Bo, the owner of this building, and then Jay Sanders from Drastic Measures. Then in the summertime, doing an event out in Philadelphia with like this. Well, I guess I want to kind of would need some explaining because we still got some stuff to nail down with it. But with another creator out there on the East Coast. And then in the summer, like most of my summer is like booked up with a couple other groups that I'm jumping on, and like we're doing collabo events kind of like I'm doing here. So up through like June, July, it's going to be busy.
How do I get a hold of you?
So socials is probably like the easiest way. Like I kind of have my my booking email that I use for more of the formal stuff. But if people want to just kind of talk, chop up a little bit, kind of figure out what we're about, what's coming up next, stuff like that. Social media is the easiest way to find it. And then emailing through my booking is how I get everything locked in and kind of officially registered. But yeah, in between that, like my email address, which we'll probably tag in here, and then just my social media, that's the easiest way. And especially with other creators, like it's really about, personality, because not everyone's really a fit. Like, I mean, I've worked with some other people who are, definitely talented, but we don't have the same wavelength. So it's like we got to have a personality match, be after the same kind of things, but that's where we kind of get to know each other. And I can always direct them to, what might make the most sense for them if it's not me, because, the network's pretty big.
All right, and before we finish up this clean up and get out of here, any last words or last messages or anything that you want to get across to the masses?
I mean, I guess like if people have questions or apprehensions or nervous about whatever else are even approaching something like this, just really ask questions, like you were saying, reach out via social medias and kind of see what I can find a fit for them, whether it's a dinner like this or something more intimate, more private, and really more than anything, just like take the risk on it. It's like it's an experience no matter what, and it's like I can steer you towards an event that might suit your taste and your needs a little bit better. But like if you're nervous about getting into it, I mean, just dive in. I have like everybody always finds something that they need, and like I encourage more and more people to really try us out and give it a shot, and you'll have a good time.
So I know that tomorrow night and Saturday will be kind of bigger settings. Do you do smaller settings?
Yeah, like I'll do like occasionally, like if people have like a group of like 10 or more than that, I usually like to keep those separate out from the main events, because I don't like the bigger groups to like dominate the conversation. So if people have a larger, like a birthday or whatever, I steer it more towards a private event, whether that's here or like in their house or another venue, just so they can have their intimacy and their privacy, and like not because those bigger things really work with the pattern of the public events. So yeah, definitely, like I mean, I've done stuff in people's houses or even anywhere else if if it suits them. So.
Well, Forrest, my dog, thank you for inviting me into your face.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for allowing me to cut your hair. Thank you for inviting my people in.
That's right.
And I'm just super appreciative, man. And
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna try out this food tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
And I will come back to y'all and let y'all know what I think. It's gonna be 10 out of 10.
There you go. There you
As
go.
always, man. Thank you for sure.
Appreciate you.